Alrighty. Well, good morning. As he stated, my name is Jill Peoples. I am the business liaison for Workforce Solutions Alamo. I oversee the industries for construction, logistics, oil and gas, and transportation. So, Workforce Solutions Alamo, our mission statement is to strengthen the regional economy by growing and connecting talent pipelines to employers. Our vision statement is to lead the most integrated community workforce network in the nation. And then we have listed our core values of accountability, collaboration, excellence, innovation, and integrity. Business services. So what is the purpose of Workforce Solutions Alamo Business Services and who is eligible to receive our services? So our purpose, again, is to connect our talent pipeline to our employers and actually strengthen the economy. And we do that by various ways. I'll talk more about it into the presentation. Who is eligible for our services? The employers in the Alamo region. So there's a few factors that factor in for you to be eligible for our services. And so the first thing we do to make sure you're eligible is we verify your TWC tax ID and your FEIN number to just make sure that your unemployment insurance is paid to date. At that point, you're eligible for all of our services at no cost. And so I'll talk more about our services as I get into the presentation. Workforce Solution Centers. So we have 5 centers here in the urban area: Marbach, East Houston, Waltham, South Flores, and Data Point. Marbach is actually going to be moving to the port here in a few months. So we'll be taking over there. And then we also serve the 13 surrounding counties here in the Alamo. Calendar of events. So if you go to workforcesolutionsAlamo.org, you'll be able to keep up with the events that we have going. They do change sometimes frequently. Sometimes employers come to us last minute, maybe not in advance. And so they may have an event going on at our centers, whether that's a hiring event, a training, what have you. You can always find these events on our website under Calendar of Events. So I talked a little bit about the services that we offer, and here they are listed here, our recruitment efforts. We have Work in Texas, which is similar to Monster, Indeed, and Career Builder. It's literally workintexas.com. Employers usually post their vacancies there. And then the difference between Indeed, Monster, Career Builder is you actually have a human component. So there's a recruiter in there who is actively searching for qualified talent for those postings for you, and you tell us how you want them to apply. So if you have your job seekers come in person, they find your posting on there, they say they were interested if they match up, and then it would show your address. Come in at this time to apply. If there's a link, it would take them directly to your website to apply. So we're just doing our due diligence to make sure that they're qualified applicants in that system, and then they're able to apply for your positions. Employers are also welcome to have their own login credentials to go in there and look at resumes as well and reach out to these applicants for interviews and things like that. We also have job fairs and hiring events. Again, they're at no cost. You may be familiar with some of our bigger events, Hiring Red, White, and You. That takes place every November, and it's a statewide event that each local board has. So we target our veterans, their spouses, but also the general population. We usually have over 100 employers and thousands of job seekers in attendance at that event. We also have a work experience program. What work experience is it basically alleviates the costs for the employers, and we're the employer of record from day one. So say you're hiring for laborers or someone who really doesn't have the skill of construction, but they express an interest and they want to get into that industry, we will basically foot the bill for up to 480 hours. So you may say, I typically wouldn't hire this person because they don't have a year of experience. We say, hey, you train them, we're the employer of record, we're paying the insurance, we're paying the wages, and you're training them at that point. At the end of that, the goal is for them to gain full-time employment. We also have on-the-job training, known as OJT. And so that is somebody who has a little bit more skill. Maybe they've been in the construction industry, they have skill, but you may need to train them on a specific system or your specific specific way of them doing the job. Then you would be the employer from day one, and we would reimburse you a percentage of their wages on a monthly basis. So you may say, hey, it's going to take me 4 months to train them on this. Depending on the size of your company, we can reimburse you up to 75% a month for that particular employee, and it's customizable. So if you get 3 people, someone may need 6 months, someone may need 2, someone may need 5. We'll come up with that training plan and we'll reimburse you on a monthly basis. We also have different funding opportunities. I'll talk more about them. And then we also provide labor market information. And here's the guru for that, LMI. He's able to pull customizable information for you, whether it's tailored to the Alamo region, other regions. Sometimes I have employers who come in, they may be a new account for me, and they may want to know, hey, what's a competitive wage for this? I go to Josh. Josh gets that information based on how they want it, if they want it for the state, if they want it for the region, and he'll customize it and send it back to the employer. So employers can sign up for free and post unlimited a number of job postings and work in Texas. It's a comprehensive online job search resource and matching system. Our business solutions team works with employers to gather the details of job descriptions, and then we post them into our database. Our business team monitors these postings to ensure that they are active and that we're assigning referrals. So your job postings won't just sit there. We'll actively be putting referrals. We'll be reaching out to you. Hey, you have 3 candidates. Would you be interested in seeing these resumes? Are you still hiring? Is the posting filled? Things like that. So it'll be an active engagement. Our job fairs and hiring events. So this year we have facilitated, this is outdated. We've facilitated more than 10 job fairs. We've assisted 190 employers. They have had over 1,617 interviews and 21 hires.
I believe that was as of December.
December, yes. So I've already spoke on our work experience and subsidized employment and the OJT. Again, to be eligible for these services, it's simple. I'll ask for your TWC tax ID or your FEIN number. I'll go into our database. It'll tell me, yes, you're active and liable. No, you're not. And if you're not, then I'll refer you to TWC so they can help you correct that. Maybe you have a number wrong. Maybe it's been updated. Maybe you use a payroll system. And so we have to have that in order to get you eligible for our services. Funding opportunities, fun stuff. So some funding opportunities that we have available are Skills Development Fund, also known as FDF, and that's up to $500,000 per business, more for a consortium for customized training. The target average cost per trainee would be $2,000, and it's training for full-time employees. We also have Skills for Small Businesses, and that's up to $1,800 per new hire and $900 for existing workers for tuition and fees in a 12-month period. It's also a training for full-time employees, and the training is selected from courses that we currently have offered. So if you want to upskill your workers, get them some more training, we can assist with that. The Texas Industry Partnership, boards receiving grant match dollar for dollar up to $150,000 of industry partners funds to support WIOA Alamo, which is Workforce Innovative Opportunity Act, high demand job training activities and related direct costs in designated industries. If you are interested in any of these funding opportunities, feel free to reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll get you in contact with the correct TWC staff to assist with that. A lot of employers don't tap into this, but these are great, great, great funding opportunities. They help alleviate costs, and they help you upskill and train your current workforce. Labor market information. Who benefits from this information? We all do. Employers do. You know, you may have been in business for a while. Some employers think they have it all figured out. And then here comes the retention issue because the company down the street may be paying $2 more. But if you get the labor market information, you can remain competitive. What is the purpose of labor market information? We've already discussed that. And then what type of labor market information is available? Again, that's up to you. What do you need? You tell us what you need. Josh will make it customizable for you, whether it's state, local, regional, if you just want it for Bexar County. However, it is directly tailored for the employer. You can also request this LMI data online on our website at workforcesolutionsAlamo.org. And it just shows you exactly what the request will look like, and we'll still be able to provide it. The easiest way, send me an email, let me know exactly what you need, so it's a human-based contact, and then I'll get Josh involved and we'll get that data to you. Additional resources. So we also have information for Fidelity Bonding. It's a business insurance policy for employers that hire, retain, and promote at-risk individuals. It is purchased to protect an employer against loss due to an employee's dishonesty, including theft, forgery, larceny, and embezzlement. We also have the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. It's a federal tax credit available to employers for hiring individuals from targeted groups who have consistently faced significant barriers to employment. There's also the Employee Retention Tax Credit, and this is a refundable tax credit against certain employment taxes equal to 50% of the qualified wages an eligible employer pays to employees after March the 12th, 2022, and before January the 1st, 2021. So sector-based business solutions. So at Workforce Solutions Alamo, over the last few years, we've adapted a sector-based model. With that sector-based model, I oversee high-wage, in-demand occupations, which is why I oversee construction, logistics, oil, gas, and transportation. We also have 3 other liaisons, and they oversee industries such as healthcare, IT, hospitality, aerospace, things like that. We consider high growth, high wage jobs. The sector-based model, basically we consider high growth, high wage jobs and industries. Business liaisons are assigned to become industry experts, and we do that by attending different events, studying the information, going to different seminars, and also by just working with employers. They keep us in the know, they're educating us. We work with training providers as well to just stay up to date on the industries. We focus our recruitment to place people in these in-demand opportunities. We make informed decisions and validate data by creating industry-focused groups, and we help companies retain and expand their talent pipeline. So what is the role of employers in our sector-based partnership? There's things for you to do as well. So you participate in the creation of business leaders and qualified workforce by upskilling in strategic ways. You help shape the curriculum design and benchmarks for success. And the way that we do that is we actually host collaboratives on a quarterly basis. For my collaboratives, I invite out construction employers. We come together at a round table and we basically come up with solutions. What's working, what's not working, what are the issues, what can we do? We also bring in training providers because we have training providers who they're training these individuals, and by the time you get them, do they have the skills that they need? Do they not? That's why we're all at the table coming up with strategic ways to upskill the talent pipeline. And these training providers, they're listening. They want to know. They want to know what they can do better. Same for employers and same for us. We demonstrate skills. You demonstrate skills gaps. You also develop and confirm career pathways. You recruit participants and influence OJT. So the way you can influence OJT is we offer reverse referrals. So if someone comes through your door, you may, instead of turning them away, you may say, you know what, we partner with Workforce Solutions Alamo. Maybe we can get you trained up and skilled through Workforce Solutions Alamo. They come, we do eligibility, and then again, they're your employee from day one, and we're reimbursing you to give them that opportunity. They also circulate best practices. So here are the target industries that I was referencing earlier. We have aerospace and manufacturing, healthcare, information technology and cybersecurity, construction, architecture, utilities, education, oil, gas, warehousing, and transportation. As you can see, I have the hardest job. I oversee majority. Just kidding. Key elements of target occupations are high growth, high demand, and high wage. Here's some data that we gathered from the construction industry. We shared it recently at our collaborative. And so it's basically showing us what the average hourly wages are in the construction industry, some entry-level positions with the entry-level wages, intermediate, advanced, and career level up to professional. It also tells us what some of those education requirements are as well. Here's our contact information if you are interested in participating in our services. Maybe you know another business that doesn't necessarily fall under my industries. These are the other liaisons who oversee the other industries for healthcare, hospitality, nonprofit, things of that nature, and they can assist you. If at any time you say, hey, I have an education partner who may want to partner, but you don't remember these people, reach out to me and I'll get you in contact with the appropriate liaison. Does anyone have any questions for me or Josh? Awesome.
Is there a list of your training courses or something? Is it on your website?
Yes. So anything that you're looking for, you can go to Workforce Solutions Alamo. If it's something in specific and you don't see it, reach out to me and I can send you over that information.
That's for training courses.
Yes.
Now, more specifically, we go work off of
ETPO.
a list from the Texas Workforce Commission. It's called the ETPL list. So a training provider must be on that list for us to utilize that for our job seekers to train. But what we can offer you is not only the opportunity to analyze that list, but for the specific courses that exist in your fields, you can tell us which of the available providers is your most preferred. Because I'd rather send people to that program so they're producing the people that you actually need because you have confidence in that program. Or you can express back to us, hey, none of these training providers are currently adequate for these reasons, and we can either go to them to have them update their curriculums, or even propose that we bring in a new training provider that actually does have what you need. Conversely, even if that doesn't work, we can turn you into the training provider and cover, of course, the extraordinary costs by way of either being the employer of record during that time and paying them at 100% commensurate rate, or, of course, having you hire someone that already has skills, so just transferring into a new position and covering it at a base percentage depending on how many employees that you have. So it's either or. Either we'll find the right provider, we'll update the curriculums, find a new provider, or turn you into the provider. All of which comes at no cost.
Where's the training held? Is it usually held at y'all's facility, or is it held at our facility? Or
So it's up to you. So once you're eligible for our services, you're eligible to use any of our centers at no cost. We have a lot of employers who use our centers to host job fairs, trainings, hiring, interviewing, things like that. We also have resource rooms in all of our centers where we have computers available as well.
Now, for the purposes of work experience, we do designate a physical address where the training is going to occur. That can be either your place of business, an actual work site, which can be amended a couple of times throughout the life of the agreement, but typically we want to keep it at one location for the training. And that address is covered under our liability insurance for whatever work that they're doing at the time. But again, that can be in-house, more of like classroom instruction if you want them to learn a piece of equipment and we happen to have the space, again, no cost to you. Or it could be, at an actual work site that you've designated that you'll be working at for a while.
And would you, if you have existing employees, would they be able to be part of that training exercise or program too, or is that just mostly just
for work experience in OJT? They have to be a new employee, but for some of the funding opportunities, they are eligible for some of those.
Well, I guess I'm just looking at the training.
For skills development fund, things like that, absolutely, they are eligible.
It kind of depends circumstance to circumstance. So, if a person's under a certain set of circumstances where they actually qualify for our training, there is a way for us to leverage either OJT or work experience to upgrade their position. So let's say you just can't justify the cost for whatever reason, but with funding, you'd be able to justify turning this person into, like, say, a project site manager, right? We can partner to find ways to do that for an incumbent employee. It's simply easier for somebody outside of that situation because more likely they'll be qualified if they don't have a current, gainful employment. If they're currently gainfully employed, it just really depends on their circumstances. Person can be gainfully employed, but if they have, let's say, like 6 children, then on paper, they may be considered by the government eligible. It just kind of depends.
So obviously we're all here because we're construction managers, some sort or another, or engineers or something to do with construction that gets us through. So my big question is, like, for our group that we're here at CCM, we have training that is put on by CCM that teach us to be construction managers and actually give us a national certification. So when you're talking about training for that field, since most of us is what we're looking at, is there specific training that y'all do for construction management, or how do you get that, and how do you get that proper, or is it just for like one person? You actually do construction management?
You got different levels, I guess is what I saw on one side. You have different levels of pay and different levels of experience. So I guess that's what John's going here, because we're probably looking more professional, maybe the next level down, maybe, but I mean it's.
Yeah, all of this starts with a conversation that we're having here today. What I will say is that our options for the construction industry in general for the ETPL list is very limited. I would like to see us expand on this, and the feedback that you give us. So if we're hearing, hey, really the opportunity here is to take existing tradesmen and upscale them into even better positions so we can take on more projects and then hire more people, upskill them, and then so forth and so on, then that's the route we would definitely want to come at if we're proposing new curriculum, right? Now, we would definitely want to have a conversation with our board offices so that we can talk to existing training providers to see if their curriculum actually cover the topics, certifications, and training that you actually need the people to have. We can even get into context and making you a part of the ETPL list so that we can simply send them to you since you already know what it is that they're going to need. You can train them properly, and then we'd rather send them to your program, right, to then be hired by your network of partners and within the trade. Really, the rabbit hole goes really deep, and we can tailor it to your specific request and need. It just depends on the model by which you want us to engage our services. So we have the resources, and we can point them in your very distinct direction based on your feedback today and with our communications through Drill.
Is there something that's contractually binding between the company and
Workforce Solutions Alamo. So the only contract that's signed is if it's a work experience agreement. There's like a contract do's and don'ts, OJT do's and don'ts. But as far as the skills development fund and things like that, I'm not sure.
I guess what I'm thinking of, I'm trying to think out of the box too, is, okay, we look at someone, we bring them on, we start doing the training, we start doing.
And they don't work out.
They don't work out.
Nope. Just like any employer, it's the same thing. You just let us know, hey, you know what? This person is showing up late every day. They're not getting it. It's not working out. And so we'll do our best to find them a better fit and also find you a replacement as well. So you're not obligated to keep anybody throughout the duration if it's not working out.
Require, I'm thinking HR now. You'll require documentation about the not showing up on time and all that kind of stuff.
We would hope that you're documenting it throughout the process. That person will be assigned a career advisor who should be checking in. Hey, how is so-and-so doing? And you may say, they're already on their second warning. If they're late again, they're done. So they'll know. They'll be reaching out to the job seeker. Hey, this is what I know, XYZ, and in communication. But no contract for you to be obligated to keep them.
The programs are designed so that you don't take on any additional administrative work because that will come at a dollar
I'm thinking
cost.
about life.
You know?
I don't care about the administrative work.
Yeah, so as far as work experience, it's just an agreement. So there is no contract involved. Any party at any time can simply exit the agreement, and that would include the job seeker themselves. Unfortunately, sometimes they think, well, you know what, this is just not for me, so I'm gone. But we would hope all parties involved are communicating just so that we can create the best chance for success for that individual and for the company that we're trying to assist, right? Because at the end of the day, you need your person on payroll at some point, right? And that's the whole point of this thing. Now with OJT, although it is a contract, it's simply a contract in order for us to designate funds for that person and encumber them so that, we can attest for how much we're going to spend on that person should they exit the program. But since they're your employee and you're the employer of record, they follow all of your rules and regulations and policies. So if they were to break any of those, you would let them go as you would any other employee. And it doesn't make them more or less eligible for unemployment, for instance. It's just whatever the normal rules would normally be is exactly what they would follow. And for contract purposes, it would just mean that we would simply stop reimbursing at the time at which they lost their employment. But we wouldn't claw it back and there would be no penalties or anything like that.
Kind of just struck everything that has to do with, I think I heard early on was they're actually, I guess they're quasi-employed by us, but they're still working through, because y'all are paying them and stuff. Right?
It depends. So for work experience, we're the employer of record, and that's more of an entry level. We're paying the wages.
Right.
For OJT, they're your employee, and we're reimbursing the wages. So
That be spelled out in that agreement, I guess?
yeah, each one's different. So depending on who you send us and what they need, we would kind of come up with, okay, this person has no experience, let's do work experience. This person just needs training on this, let's do OJT.
Jeff just joined us. Hi, Jeff, you can hear us?
We can't do that.
Yeah, I guess we can't hear him.
No, I can hear you. Morning.
Okay, there we go.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Doing well.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, are there any more questions or concerns or thoughts?
Thank you all.